some lingering...
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And people may need the day off today just to dig out, huh?
Yes, plenty of snow to go around in a lot of spots. We're still going through some of the numbers right now, so we'll have some more official remeasurements here shortly. I will say, if you're heading out this morning, though, yes, the snow is fine in size, but you're going to have some of this.
Yes.
And I was mentioning it, Gary and I were on the road in this morning. Let's take a look at the radar here, because I want to show you guys what's going on and why you need some de-icer, or make sure you have plenty of it. So the snow is falling lightly this morning, not heavy, well, except if you're in the North Country, but because it's at a certain temperature out this morning, the snow is almost in a very fine sandy-like texture, which is cutting down on accumulations, but more importantly, as it hits your windshield, it freezes on contact. And I had to probably go through half a jug this morning on my drive into work because my windshield kept freezing over. So make sure you have plenty of that if you're heading out this morning. Otherwise, you might be stopping on the side of the road and scraping off the ice off your windshield every 5 minutes. Either way, the radar right now still showing some heavier snow to the north, lingering snow showers as we progress south. The general path of this system is exiting New York State right now. It's, in fact, a lot of it's outside of New York State. And so when it comes to snowfall rates, we'll still be seeing those rates decrease a little bit. A look at the roadways this morning. A big shout out to all the road crews out there. My drive-in wasn't too bad. Just obviously, because the snow is still falling, you're going to encounter some snow-covered situations, especially on some side roads. So just plan accordingly and budget some extra time heading out to where you need to go today. There's a live look at downtown Utica, same story. Slowdowns here and there on the traffic tracker. And again, as we head throughout the day, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the roadways this morning. Regardless, temperatures go from the low teens to the mid-teens this afternoon, a cooler than average day today. We have a look at what you can expect throughout the week and additional snow chances straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, more than 1 million people across the nation are without power after much of the country was blanketed with snow and ice. Cold weather and wind chills are expected through tomorrow. The power outages are most widespread in Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. And here in our area, as our Storm Tracker 2 team predicted, the snow started late Sunday morning and just kept on coming. It piled up for more than 13 hours and into the overnight. Almost every school in our area is either closed or under some sort of scheduled change for today. Many area businesses are also closed or opening late. You can find the latest closings and delays on the bottom of your screen, as well as WKTV.com. And several municipalities are declaring snow emergencies because of the storm. In Oneida County, that list includes the city of Utica, the city of Rome, the villages of Whitesboro, New York Mills, Yorkville, and New Hartford, along with the towns of Marcy, New Hartford, and Kirkland. Now, in Herkimer County, the town and village of Frankfort have both declared snow emergencies, along with the village of Ilion. Again, you can find the list of snow emergencies, along with those school and business closings, on our website, WKTV.com. And there is still a lot of snow to move this morning. Crews from the City of Utica DPW have been on the roads working around the clock since this all began. They are asking residents to be patient. They have a lot of roads to clear, so if they don't get to yours right away, they will eventually. They also need your help to make their job easier. And Governor Hochul is urging everyone across New York to stay home as dangerous winter weather continues to grip the state. She has activated the New York National Guard, and that means sending 100 troops to the Hudson Valley and down to New York City. A statewide code blue alert remains in place as temperatures in some spots here in the state drop to levels not seen in many years.
Shocking reports out of Watertown. Actual temperature in Watertown was minus 34 and minus 49 in Copenhagen. That is not the real feel. That is not the wind chill. That is actual temperature. We warned this to be dangerously cold, and it is not it's been unrelenting.
A state of emergency reigns in effect because of the storm and the cold temperatures as well as the cleanup. Now to the latest developments out of Minneapolis. Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada is...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Good morning, everybody. Time now 5:11, and welcome to a new week, and already showing up like a lion here. We'll take a look at what you can expect across the area. Again, a live look at some roadways this morning. The roads, again, they're not like they are plowed, but there is still snow falling. It's a very grainy type snow, and that's going to allow some slick spots. So if you don't have to travel anywhere this morning, we recommend against it. But obviously, for those of you who have to go into work, you have to travel, just budget some extra time. Road's a bit slick in some spots. 13 degrees of temperature, feels like 5 out with an east-southeast wind of 5 miles an hour. And again, some other cameras showcasing some roadways this morning. Same story, just budget some extra time getting to where you need to go. Our traffic tracker showing a few slowdowns, especially along the thruway between Utica and Little Falls and that area in those higher elevations south of Herkimer. Heading up north where the snow is still falling, well, might not be a whole lot of traffic data, at least being early this morning. The roads aren't that busy up there. But nonetheless, we got some steadier snow working its way north, lighter snow behind it. And as we head throughout the next few days, you can see here, we're hovering in the teens and even single digits. It's going to be another cold stretch of weather. I wouldn't say Arctic, but I mean, we are in the time of year that is typically the coldest here in New York State, so this is not really surprising. But we do have a look at some additional snow chances this week. We're not completely out of the woods with snow, but we'll dive into that here coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Hey, Eric, thanks. We are not the only ones blanketed in snow. Take a look at the snow-covered roads in Richmond, Virginia. They're not used to this kind of weather there. Drivers over the past 24 hours making way for plows, and some just staying off the roadways altogether. And the snow-covered roads in the state of Ohio, very similar. Folks out shoveling in shifts just to try to keep up. And of course, the kids got to head out and play in it. But there are reports that the heavy snow did wreak some havoc on the roadways there. And officials in Kentucky say the impact of the storm is far from over. Crews are still working to clear roads, and they are asking everyone to stay put just a little longer. Once the snow moves out, the dangerously cold air is moving in. Temperatures are expected to drop from the teens to as low as 3 below zero over the next couple of days in Kentucky. The time right now is 5:13. Here's a lot.
Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We begin today with still some lingering snowfall. We look at the radar and satellite over the last 6 hours. The evolution of this big national storm exiting to the northeast. I think for central New York, it's nothing but another winter storm here in New York State. We're used to it so far, at least even this season, too. The amount of snow we've seen already. Look at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. We have some heavier snow showers up in the Adirondacks, some lighter snow showers in the Mohawk Valley. And as you head into some roadways this morning, if you're heading out to work, I should say, you want to budget a little bit extra time with the roads still having some layers of snow on them. Compared to the snow we've gotten, this is great that at least the conditions compared to what could have been so far this morning. Roadways, we've got a few slowdowns. One place to mention primarily looks to be along the thruway here between, I would say, Herkimer and Little Falls, and that section of troublesome roads there. But nonetheless, temperatures today remaining in the teens. Wind chills actually cooling down a little bit today, too. We're going to be hovering into the single-digit wind chills today. So it's a cooler one. When it comes to snow chances, it's going to be somewhat on and off today, and here's why. As we progress throughout the day, we're going to see this light snow taper off, some lingering lake effect, and you can see here the next few days, there are just snow chances here and there. There's lake effect, there's clippers, nothing majorly impactful, but there's definitely enough to warrant some additional accumulations the next few days. So our Skycast shows some lighter snow this afternoon, winds picking up, so snow drifts will be a concern, especially in some of those higher elevations. So just watch out for that this evening. As we head into tonight, we have some lingering lake effects south of the New York State Thruway in Madison County. A lake effect band sweeping north early Tuesday morning and then remaining north with some lingering snow showers as we head throughout the day, light snow. And then we're going to see that at least round of lake effect sweep south as a brief weak clipper moves over us. But generally speaking, you see what I mean here. The snowfall, it's not widespread. It's just hit or miss over the next few days. But I think the main thing here, too, those temperatures really persisting on the colder side. So over the next 24 hours, by the same time Tuesday morning, we're looking at trace to 2 inches here across the Mohawk Valley, 2 to 4 inches in those higher elevations. And then, of course, as we head throughout the week, similar story with some lighter snow chances here and there. We do cool down later this week into the single digits for Friday afternoon. We're down at -4 and -6 by next weekend. And we'll, of course, follow that, but I think the main thing is that Arctic cold is gone temporarily. It's still cold out. It is winter time here in New York State, but nonetheless, at least you're heading out this morning, make sure you at least prepare accordingly.
And definitely one of the coldest 7 days we'll see, for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, Super Bowl 60 is now set. The new morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, as you mentioned earlier, the key thing this morning is making sure your windshield's clean, right?
Yeah, that's right. And Gary and I just got to experience that this morning. I may be thinking, well, it's lightly snowing. Why do I need this out? Well, the thing here is that the snow falling is very granular, or I would say sugar or sand-like in texture, which again, doesn't amount to much accumulation-wise until it hits your windshield and it just freezes. That was the case on my drive in this morning, and I probably used about maybe half a jug in my car to wash off all the layers of ice. And so if you don't have enough of that, you might have to stop for a few minutes and maybe scrape off the ice off your windshield. Nonetheless, the snow this morning is lightening up. The heaviest of snow is done. We look here, the only heavier snowfall is currently falling in the Adirondacks, and we zoom out even more, and the overall eye, if you call it that, of the system here is well out to sea, and the brunt of this is now over and done with. Nonetheless, though, if you're heading out this morning, a look at roadways. They are plowed, but still, with the amount of snow we saw, they could be slick in some spots. So drive carefully, plan extra time on your morning commute. As you can see here, a live look at downtown Utica, plowed roads, but still lightly snow covered. And so you can see here, we got some slowdowns here across the Mohawk Valley on some of those roadways here in the traffic tracker. And today, while the snowfall will be a bit lighter in the afternoon, we are expecting temperatures to remain in the teens and overall winds to pick up as well. So blowing snow is a concern this evening. We'll be diving into, of course, the additional snowfall the next few days and, of course, that temperature trend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, this morning, questions and outrage are growing after federal agents shot another person.
Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Well, Welcome back on this Monday morning. Quite a busy yesterday and overnight. Now the snowfall tapering off a little, but nonetheless, the snowfall is still slightly impactful. The light snow could be accumulating and freezing on your windshields this morning. As a heads up for that. But again, in terms of amount of snow, the brunt of it is mainly over with. We'll, of course, show the snowfall forecast here for the area coming up in a few minutes, but it's that time of the morning. It's our photo of the day, and this one, well, it looks like our graphics are not loading. Let's see if it works if I load it again. Let's see, is the technology working with me today? It is not. Well, I did do this, so here we are with technology not working with me. But, of course, I'll show you the next half hour here of a great shot of a rider on a snowmobile trail in Old Forge with the joys of the season, winter season, all the winter sports you can do. I'll have that for you coming up shortly. Gary?
That's a great tease. We'll tune into that.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, there's good news this morning about hitting.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Time now, 5:48 on this Monday morning, and we are starting out with some lingering snowfall. The brunt of it has already exited. We look at the radar and satellite here. We can see the overall trend of this system. This was at midnight, and it's continuing its way eastward and northward until we have some lingering light snow here across the Mohawk Valley. Look at the radar here. Again, heavier snow to the north, lighter snow in the Mohawk Valley. Your roadways this morning are slightly snow covered. I wouldn't call them treacherous, but even though they are plowed, there are a few slick spots. So if you don't have to drive anywhere this morning, I would hold off, recommend against doing so. But if you have to go, for obvious reasons, some of you still have to get to work, just budget some extra time to get to where you need to go. A few slowdowns here and there across the Mohawk Valley on our traffic tracker. You can see some yellows and oranges here indicating some slowdowns, but nonetheless, today's temperatures will be going from the low teens to the mid-teens. However, with the wind still remaining pretty prevalent today, those wind chills will remain in the single digits. So a colder one today across the region. So we head into the next few days, and while there's no major system that we're looking at here, it's more of a conglomeration of multiple systems of lake effect, clipper systems, cold fronts, just a stew of some on and off snow chances the next few days. Maybe some higher impacts when it comes to that lake effect snow band moving its way through the Mohawk Valley Wednesday, but besides that, really not a whole lot of meaningful snowfall. So our skycast today shows some lighter snow showers kicking in, some snow accumulating mainly south and west of Utica in the hills of Madison County into the overnight, and then that snow band sweeping north Tuesday. On and off snowfall, flurries here and there Tuesday, but overall relatively unimpactful. And then that lake effect snow moves in early Wednesday into the Mohawk Valley. That might cause some coatings on roadways. We'll, of course, track that throughout the week, but at least it doesn't look to be anything worth an alert by any means. But nonetheless, when it comes to snowfall today, the next 24 hours, here's a look at the general idea here. And not a lot. Trace 2 inches, 2 to 4 inches in those higher elevations. The snow right now is a bit sandy in texture. And for those of you wondering, of course, if you head farther south and east, we got some much higher totals. North and west, where the air was just very dry and very cold. When you have that cold of temperatures and that dry of air, the snow turns to be very small, producing very little in terms of any meaningful flakes. But the next few days, again, we got some snow chances, some colder weather. But at least for today, just budget some extra time getting ready to go.
One downright cold 7-day forecast.
Yes, yes, as you mentioned earlier, probably the coldest 7-day we've seen all year.
Yeah, in a while.
Oh, yeah.
American Alex Honnold, one of the world's
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And people may need the day off today just to dig out how much snow are we talking?
Well, Gary, we're looking at some spots over a foot of snow, obviously heading north and west, a bit lower. Let's take a look at the numbers right here. And as you can see, as we head into mainly Otsego County, that's where the brunt of this snowfall was reported. A lot of these totals here from Otsego in Shenango County picking up, I would say, over a foot of snow. As you head more north and west, those numbers have decreased. For example, one of our sky watchers in Westdale reporting, I believe it was 8 inches. I want to make sure I see this here. Yes, correctly, 8 inches at 4:30 measurement. Now, although the snow is falling right now, something I do want to add, and what you guys might want to add to your cars this morning, make sure you have enough of it, some de-icer. Because this morning, well, the snow is falling lightly, but the snow is so fine and sandy in texture, when it's hitting your windshield, it's freezing on contact, which is something that might cause some travel concerns. Even this morning, I had to use about maybe half a jug of this to make sure I got to work safely. So if you are heading out this morning, watch out for that. The snow is still falling, albeit lightly. And overall, we zoom out, the majority of the system still heading out to the northeast. Roadways this morning, as you can see here, we've got some snow-covered roads for the most part. But overall, as we head throughout the day today, the roadways will continue to improve. So just a heads up, if you're heading out this morning, budget some extra time. The road looks a lot like this, which can be slick in some spots, but at least for now, a huge shout out to the crews this morning, which have made the roads a lot cleaner than, of course, with all the snow we saw the last few hours. Traffic tracker showing a few slowdowns here and there. Today, temperatures climbing into the mid to upper teens, but wind chills remaining in the single digits with some on and off snowfall. We'll be diving into the additional snow we'll see throughout the week and how those temperatures are trending toward the last week or so of January straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, new this morning, more than 1 million people across the nation are without power after much of the country was blanketed with snow and ice on Sunday. Cold weather and wind chills are expected through tomorrow. The power outages are most widespread in Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. Here in our area, as our Storm Tracker 2 team predicted, the snow started late Sunday morning and just kept on coming. It piled up for more than 13 hours and into the overnight this morning. Almost every school in our area is either closed or under some sort of scheduled change for the day. Many area businesses are also closed or opening late. You can find the latest closings and delays on the bottom of your screen, as well as WKTV.com. And several municipalities are declaring snow emergencies throughout the day today as well because of the storm. In Oneida County, that list includes the city of Utica, city of Rome, the villages of Whitesboro, New York Mills, Yorkville, and New Hartford, along with the towns of Marcy, New Hartford, and Kirkland. In Herkimer County, the town and village of Frankfort have both declared snow emergencies, along with the village of Ilion. You can find the list of snow emergencies along with those closings and delays on our website, WKTV.com. Well, there's still a lot of snow to move this morning. Crews from the City of Utica DPW have been on the roads working around the clock since before the snow started yesterday morning, and they are asking residents to be patient. They have a lot of roads to clear, and if yours is still not that clear, they will eventually get there. They also need your help to make their job easier. The Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority was still
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:11 going on 6:12. And as we take a look at your forecast today, well, If you are heading out early this morning, you're going to be dealing with some snow-covered roadways. A look at the current conditions outside right now in a downtown Utica. 13 degrees officially at Griffiths and Rome. Feels like 5 out. Frigid wind chills, east-southeast wind of 5 miles an hour. Roadways this morning, as I mentioned, are slightly snow-covered. They are plowed. There are a few side roads and less traveled roads for obvious reasons that aren't plowed just yet or may have been plowed a while ago. And so with that in mind, just plan some extra time heading out to work this morning. Leave earlier. That way you're not worried about having to drive at unsafe speeds this morning to get to where you need to go. The snow can be deceiving. It doesn't look like a lot, but if you don't have the right conditions out, you might hit a snow patch, and before you know it, you're sliding off the side of the road. A lot of slowdowns here across the traffic tracker map. Not widespread, but still, as you can see here, a lot of outlying roads here got some slowdowns. But nonetheless, the radar showing some light snow. It's sand-like texture and consistency, and it's collecting on windshields this morning. So if you're driving anywhere, make sure you have plenty of de-icer. Following today, we are still tracking some colder temperatures to wrap up the work week. We're in the single digits and teens, feeling very winter-like. We'll, of course, track the snow chances along with that cold over the next few days. Coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are not the only ones blanketed in. Look at the snow-covered roads in Richmond, Virginia. They're not used to this kind of weather there. Drivers over the past 24 hours or so making way for plows, and some just staying off the roadways altogether. And here's a look at the snow-covered roads in the state of Ohio. Folks out there shoveling in shifts just to try to keep up. And of course, the kids got to head out and play in all this. There are reports that the heavy snow did wreak some havoc on the roadways in Ohio. And officials in Kentucky say the impact of this storm is far from over. Crews are still working to clear roadways, and they are asking everyone to stay put for a while longer. Once the snow moves out, dangerously cold air is moving in. Temperatures are expected to drop from the teens to as low as 3 below zero over the next couple of days in parts of Kentucky. The time right now is
Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Quite a busy last 12, 18 hours or so. In fact, let's recap the last 18 or so hours. Here on our radar and satellite, here is how the system evolved. We press play here, and you can see that heavy snow working along the coast. Of course, we were well north of the mixing line, so we saw a little bit of that snowfall continuing onward before right now this morning, lingering snowfall persisting. So if you're wondering how the conditions are outside right now, the radar might be deceiving. Yes, the snow is lighter, it's not as heavy, but it's almost as if the snow consistency this morning is somewhat acting like freezing rain. There are very small shards of ice or snow crystals that are just overall looking like ice, and they are freezing on contact, as say, for example, if you're driving anywhere on your windshield. So although the roadways are plowed, huge shout out to the crews this morning, there are still snow showers or even those light snow shards falling right now that'll act as some slippery spots. So plan accordingly. If you don't have to drive this morning, recommend against doing so. If you do, budget some extra time. Traffic tracker showing a few slowdowns here and there. It's not terrible, but as long as you drive slowly, and then, of course, weather permitting in your area, you'll get to where you need to go early today. Temperatures hovering in the teens for much of the morning and afternoon. Winds pick up today, so you can see here the wind chills remain in the single digits for pretty much the entire morning, afternoon, and evening. And beyond today, We're also looking at some additional snow chances. We've got clipper systems, we've got cold fronts, we've got lake effect. It's nothing extremely major, but it's enough to produce some additional accumulations here locally over the next few days. It's not quiet, at least by any standards here, winter related. Let's zoom in here in our Skycast today. It's blustery. Watch out for some snow drifts in some higher elevations as we head throughout the afternoon. In the evening, we have some lingering lake effect south and west of Utica in the hills of Madison County. A lake effect band sweeps north early Tuesday morning. Throughout the day Tuesday, it's cold with some on and off light snow showers, nothing really that impactful. Then as we head into the overnight Tuesday, we're going to see that lake effect snow band pass south briefly, and then overnight that snow moving into the Mohawk Valley. There could be some snow-covered roadways early Wednesday morning before that lake effect sweeps north and or mainly stays outside of central New York by the end of the day. So when it comes to snow today, trace to 2 inches across the region, 2 to 4 inches in the light blue zones here. Again, the brunt of this system is over and done with. The energy transfer is now out to the Atlantic. And now what we're facing is just some typical winter January-like weather with teens, snow chances on and off. Some colder weather, though, toward the end of the week here. Friday, the high of 9, a low of -4. Saturday, high of 11, and a low of -6. So we still definitely have some colder weather on the way.
Yeah, 6 months from now, we'll be in the hottest part of the summer. So
yeah, 6 months from now, it'll balance out. You're wondering, oh my goodness, when's there any relief?
Yeah. So whole 7 day of 90s. Watch.
Yep.
Eric, thanks. Well, Super Bowl 60 is now again, and thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. Meteorologist Eric Gage is over in the Weather Center, and Eric, right around a foot for most of us throughout our area, right?
Yeah, generally speaking, that's been the common measurement here. We've got 2 lists to go through here. Big shout out to all of you who have been helping us out measure every corner here locally. In terms of snowfall, let's dive into the biggest totals here. Gilbertsville, Norwich, West Lawrence, New Hartford, Unadilla, and Hartwick, all around a foot or more, slightly more than a foot here. But the biggest total being Gilbertsville so far this morning. But at least that's to the south. We do have another higher total here. That's at Marcy. 15 inches reported this morning. 11.5 in Herkimer. 11 inches in Clinton. 10.6 inches in Vernon. 9 inches in Boonville. And 8 inches in Westdale. Pardon me, Westdale. I missed the T there. But don't worry. I won't miss it. We post it online later today. But either way, the main thing of these amounts here is the snowfall ratio. We always talk about that when it comes to snowfall, and when we have coastal nor'easters, which we have wet, clumpy snow, the ratios are a lot lower. In simpler terms, it means if you have 1 inch of water, it makes about an inch or for example, 7, 8 inches of snow. In this scenario, 1 inch of water equates to 20 inches of snow because it's a lot drier, it's more fluffy. But you get to a fine line and that fluffy snow turns sand-like. And I was just referencing a comment I was mentioning on social media a few moments ago, where if right now how inaccurate rainfall forecasts are, you add more variables to it, it's amazing how data and everything like this gets remotely close to snowfall forecasts. But nonetheless, I think it was a generally pretty it behaved pretty well. We still have some snow showers rolling through. Lighter snow still persisting and acting almost as if it's like a freezing rain type consistency. So make sure you have plenty of de-icer in your car to wash away any of the ice that accumulates in your windshields. Roadways this morning, still snow covered a little bit, but they are plowed. And just budget extra time getting to where you need to go this morning. Because there are still some slick spots here and there. We are continuing to track the snowfall as well as what we can expect throughout the rest of the week coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, this morning, questions and outrage are growing after federal agents.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise here on this Monday morning. Well, the brunt of the snowstorm is now exited to our north and east. We still have some lingering light snow showers, almost freezing rain-like inconsistency, which could cause some icy spots, as well as, of course, freezing on your windshield this morning. So just a heads up early today that you might be dealing with that on your morning commute drive in, aside from the fact the snow might not look that impressive. Again, a lot of roadways, or at least main roads, side roads, are plowed due to the huge effort by the DPW crews this morning. So shout out to all of them working those odd hours to make sure the roads are passable for you guys this morning. But one place you don't need to be plowed, well, maybe the trails need to be groomed, but let's look at a trail in Old Forge, a great family shot here of Bridget and the family there enjoying a nice ride along on the trails up near Old Forge. And a reminder that, yes, well, wintertime might be a bit gloomy for some of you. Just a reminder that not too often can you live in a place that will have beautiful summers, beautiful falls, and the ability to do this time of year. So if you have a photo like that you'd like to send to us, WKTV.com/weather/pics, a place to go. Your photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Eric, thanks. There's good news this morning about hitting your stride.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:49, almost 6:50. And as you head outside this morning, well, the light snow is still continuing on. The heaviest snow is over and done with. And if you're wondering about that, radar and satellite view here, let's go over the last 18 or so hours here. You can kind of see the evolution of this system. There's that heavy snow up the coast, and then the backside of the system right there passing over us yesterday evening, and now we're on the backside of it early this morning. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. Although the snowfall looks unimpressive on the radar scans right now, I do want to add the snow falling, very light, almost sand-like inconsistency, and it's enough to where it's starting to coat some surfaces, especially on your windshield and your drive-in, and it's freezing on contact. That could be a concern unless, of course, you want to scrape your windshield and you drive into work this morning, or you have plenty of de-icer that you could use, because you're going to need plenty of it. Make sure you're filled up on your drive into work today. A look at the roadways. You can see here, they're plowed. Yes, there's still some snow on them. The snow is still falling, but as long as you drive carefully and slowly, you'll get to where you need to go early today. If you don't have to drive this morning, I do recommend against it, though. Traffic Tracker has plenty of slowdowns here and there. It goes to show you that this is pretty much a widely impactful system early today. And when it comes to temperatures, well, it's going to be pretty cold. Overnight lows have dipped down into the teens, but wind chills today basically remaining in the single digits. So it's going to be a cold one for much of the afternoon as those winds pick up. Snow drifts, the biggest concern in the higher elevations this afternoon. But besides that, the snow potential the next few days, on and off, lake effect, cold fronts, clipper systems, basically everything but coastal storms like what we saw last night. So on our Skycast here, we have some lighter snowfall, still blowing snow in the higher elevations. Then this evening, lake effect kicks in the hills in Madison County and parts of the higher elevations here near Route 20. Then some light lake effect sweeps north early Tuesday. It's a lighter snowfall Tuesday afternoon. And then that lake effect band will wobble south overnight Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Could have a bit in terms of snow-covered roadways early Wednesday before that snow sweeps north again and it quiets down throughout the day. When it comes to snow today, trace 2 inches for a lot of the Mohawk Valley, 2 to 4 inches in the higher elevations both north as well as again in those hills south of the Mohawk Valley. And of course, following that, we have some more on and off snow chances and some colder temperatures later on this week. It's going to feel very winter-like, I should say, and overall probably the coolest stretch of weather we've had in quite a while, the next 7 or so days. Overnight lows later this week down below 0 again.
A brutal week ahead.
Very cold.
Eric, thanks. A new episode of NBC's Game Show
News with Gary Liberatore.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Some people didn't even leave their homes on Sunday, and that meant over a foot of snow had piled up into their driveways. This morning, residents of Utica endured the effects of falling temperatures to get out and dig out. If you drove around today, you would probably see lines of people shoveling their driveways or pushing snow blowers through the cold. Some Uticans say the snow came in fast all day long, but saved the cleanup for today. Most people said they had lived here for a long time and still aren't used to what upstate New York has to offer.
Doesn't matter how long you've been here, 30 years or 40 years, it's still, snow is snow. It's cold, you got to get out and chopper every, it is snow. So I don't think that I will say that I used to it, no.
Because it is exercise as long as you're doing it the right way and you have your back a certain way and you have a nice fluid motion and you push rather than lift.
Mostly everyone we talk to says they hope it gets warmer soon. And crews have been out all over the region since the snow started Sunday morning and are still out today clearing the roadways. And yes, people are clearing out their driveways as well and sidewalks. This is video from Remsen earlier this morning. That area saw about a foot of snow, just like many areas here in the Mohawk Valley. But are we getting more today? Eric joins us now. And Eric, I know it's been snowing for most of the morning, but not too much like it was yesterday.
Yeah, rates have gone down a little bit so far, which is the good news. But we still have some more snow on the way over the next, say, couple of hours. Lighter snow tapering off. Let's recap the amount of snow we've seen so far. And again, there are a lot of places here in central New York. You might not have seen every single spot, but nonetheless, we're at 22 inches reported in Cassville. There were multiple reports of 20-plus inches here and there, and I think it's a heads up on a system like this that the snow drifts could also factor into the snow measurement in a lot of spots here. 15 inches Cooperstown, Dolgeville 14, Little Falls 13, Utica, and Vernon with 12. Some more totals to pass along. Marcy at 15, New Hartford at 14.7, and Herkimer at 11.5. Now, right now, the wind chills are still very cold. We are hovering near or below 0 in some spots, a little bit above it. But nonetheless, we still have some snow showers passing through the area, producing still some coatings on some roadways. So travel might be tricky for some of you, especially on those less traveled roads. As expected, this system is going to continue to exit its way toward the northeast. In the meantime, a lot of main roads are plowed and treated. Route 20 here looking pretty good. Same thing along Route 12 and along the arterial here as well. And we have more snowfall, again, lighter snow continuing over the next few hours before eventually that will dry up a little bit. Temperatures tonight remaining still very cold. We have more snow chances throughout the middle of the week, as well as look at the temperature trend for your final weeks, or final week, I should say, of January straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. U.S. officials announced this morning that the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, snowfall. Well, it is winding down compared to the snowfall yesterday, but it's still producing some decent snowfall rates as the system passes its way eastward. A look at the radar and satellite. You can see the general movement of this area of low pressure finally out toward the Atlantic, at least when it comes to the majority of the U.S. That major winter storm is now exiting. Now, to us, I wouldn't really call it a major winter storm. I'd call it a typical winter storm here. But nonetheless, it is still producing some lingering backside snow showers right off of Lake Ontario. Some lake enhancement taking place early today. And the traffic tracker showing still plenty of slowdowns here and there, but generally it's a lot better than it was earlier this morning. A lot of crews out there this morning tackling the roads, so the conditions are much improved. When it comes to temperatures here, this is something that'll be a pretty more notable colder trend toward the end of the week. The feels like temperatures remain in the single digits or below zero tonight, and then the actual temperature itself is going to remain still very cold throughout the remainder of the week and into the weekend. So winter time or winter weather is not over with just yet. No early spring tastes of it anytime soon. We actually have that dip in the jet stream right here. Some chances of snow here and there over the next couple of days, whether it be from lake effect, clipper systems, cold fronts. Either way, it's not completely quiet. They'll be dodging some snow showers here and there, again, for much of the middle of the week. So you can see here this afternoon, some lingering snow showers on the backside of this front here. Then some lake effect mainly falling in the areas south of the Mohawk Valley, mainly the hills of Madison County and southern Oneida County there. Then that snow will end a little bit. We have some lake effect shifting north throughout the early morning Tuesday. Some light snow showers Tuesday afternoon, but overall unimpactful snowfall for your Tuesday. As we head into Tuesday night, that snow band is going to wobble a little bit, shift its way south, and hit the Mohawk Valley by early Wednesday morning. I don't think this is a very intense snow band, but I do think this has the possibility of causing some snow-covered roadways, especially westbound heading out towards Syracuse and beyond. So just a heads up when it comes to Wednesday morning's commute before that snow band finally shifts its way north into the Tug Hill Plateau by Wednesday evening. So again, when it comes to additional snowfall today, some spots already picking up 2 inches of snow here and there, mainly due to the fluff factor. But there's really not a whole lot more expected today. Yes, there's some blowing snow. Snow drifts are the main concern today, especially in those higher elevations. So watch out for if your travels today and incorporate some of those higher elevated roads. As I mentioned, it's still going to be pretty cold throughout the remainder of the week. We are seeing highs only in the single digits by Friday, and overnight lows in the negatives as we head into the weekend. So it's that time of year, Gary, coldest time of the year, and it's sure enough showing up like that.
Unusual to see that long of a stretch without it rising, maybe 20s or 30s.
Yeah, a polar plunge.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Well, the ice and snowstorm that swept across a large portion of the country on Sunday has left almost 1 million Americans still without power as heavy snow, freezing rain, and ice caused major disruptions nationwide. NBC's Emily Ikeda is in New York City with more this noon.
Hey there. Well, officials are calling this winter storm an Arctic siege. You can see my breath. You can see the snow. Nearly a foot of snow dumped here on Central Park, making it the largest snowstorm New York City has seen in some 5 years. And that light, fluffy stuff we saw falling yesterday, well, it has turned icy. Look at me picking this up. The consistency, it's heavy because of the freezing rain and the frigid cold temperatures that we saw. Now, blankets of snow, there are scenes like this across the country. Philadelphia seeing more than 9 inches of snow. In Providence, Rhode Island, we're looking at around a foot of snow. And in Boston, 16 inches and counting. Tragically, officials say so far 9 people have died in the storm. And today, hundreds of thousands of people are waking up and experiencing these bitter cold temperatures without power because the weight of the snow and in parts of the region up to an inch of ice, snapping tree branches and power lines, wreaking havoc in homes, but also on the roadways. In New York State, hundreds of accidents were reported yesterday alone, and we're also seeing that mess at America's airports. More than 4,000 flight cancellations and delays have been reported so far today. That comes on the heels of 17,000 plus flight disruptions yesterday. And the conditions are also prompting school cancellations across the country, from Memphis to Atlanta, from Philadelphia to Boston. And those cancellations could linger for a couple more days because of these bitter cold temperatures. In parts of New York State, people have experienced minus 30 plus degrees in temperatures. We're talking about actual temperatures. That's why officials are saying to bundle up if you're heading out the door today. Back to you.
Yeah, Emily, those temperatures were up in Watertown. Emily reporting from New York City today. Coming up next, 8 people were on board a private jet. Good afternoon once again, and we may be out of the woods as far as major snow goes. We're still getting some snow, but that bitter cold isn't going away.
Yeah, that cold's sticking around, Gary. Maybe a few more snow chances the next few days as well, but yeah, the major system is now out to the east. We look right now, though, at something I wanted to share with you guys this morning. This was, or at least this chart here, it might seem a bit complicated. Basically, if you look on this scale, the higher up you go, the more moisture is in the atmosphere. You go this way toward me, the colder the temperature. And you notice how when you have temperatures right around 32 degrees, you get some flakes, you get some sleet, then you get more hollow columns and needles of snowfall, and then you get the fluffiest snowflakes, which take place at the temperature we saw yesterday. But also, if the humidity in the atmosphere is low enough, you're going to get something along the lines of thin plates, solid plates, even some columns here as you get even colder. I think we were more or less in the form of columns and solid plates both last night and early this morning. This, in fact, caused some ice to form on windshields if you were driving in it. Somewhat behaving like freezing rain, freezing on contact. I guess I'd call it freezing snow, but it's interesting how it's already frozen, but I digress. So wind chills today remain still very cold. As Gary mentioned, the cold's not going away anytime soon. We have some stronger winds moving in this afternoon as well, and some lingering lake effect. This will not be amounting to a lot unless you're living in the hills of Madison County and southern United County along the Route 20 corridor. That is where the heaviest, or at least the highest totals of around 2 to 4 inches are expected. But we still have some blowing snow. And I think the key here today is that if you're heading in some of those higher elevations, those roadways might have some snow drifts to watch out for. But we have even more snow chances this week. Some of it might even impact some commutes. We'll have the details on that, plus, again, how that temperature trend is looking for the rest of the week straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Israel's military said today that the remains of the final hostage in Gaza.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a past 12, 18 hours or so. Now, it wasn't crazy snow. It's a typical winter system here we see in wintertime. But nonetheless, a lot of us picked up a foot, a little more, a little less across the area. And we still have some lingering snow from the backside of this system, producing a westerly wind out here. We can see it on the Yorkville Battery live radar, some very narrow lines pushing their way eastbound. You can actually see the path of these things here. Let's see if I can press play. Here we go. It wasn't working earlier. You can see the bands moving their way eastward. So that's what we're tracking so far today. And I think the bigger picture here, when it comes to impacts this afternoon, will be from blowing snow. So hilltops, areas in higher elevations, snow drifts are the biggest concern. Additional notable accumulations are very much less likely at least compared to what we saw last night. In the meantime, roadways continue to improve traffic flow-wise. Obviously, a few more slowdowns. There's still some snow on some roads that are slowly getting added after it right now. But nonetheless, temperatures this afternoon remain in the teens. We cool down into low teens tonight, but those winds still remain pretty decent. Between 10 and 15 miles per hour, wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles an hour. So those wind chill values will be falling below zero tonight, and in fact, right around or near zero this afternoon. So it's still a cold afternoon, and it's going to be a cold future ahead, at least for the rest of the week. As you look right here in the bigger picture, obviously we can see multiple snow chances over the next few days. We've got lake effect, we've got a clipper system, we've got a cold front. But you notice here a lot of that colder air working its way in. It's not as much of an Arctic blast with the strong winds as it was on Saturday, but it's still producing some decent cold, and it's not really going away for the next week or so. On our Skycast, we have some lingering snow this afternoon, blowing snow concerns in the hills, and then that snow will taper off, returning again early morning. I would say lighter. I don't think this snowfall is expected to be that intense early Tuesday. In fact, some lighter snow showers expected throughout the day. I think the biggest concern travel-wise will be in the overnight hours into early Wednesday. See this lake effect band trying to form again. This is going to fall into the Mohawk Valley in the early morning hours Wednesday before shifting north throughout the morning and into the early afternoon. So when it comes to travel impacts, if you're in the Utica, Rome area heading westbound, I think that's where the heaviest snow will be falling. I don't think it's a major lake effect event, but I do think it has the potential of causing reduced visibility and some accumulating snow. But speaking of accumulating snow, this is what we're expecting for the rest of the day today. Not a whole lot, but enough to coat some surfaces and remind you that it's still winter. One of those usual setups here. 2 to 4 inches you can see here in those higher elevations from lake effect tonight in sections of Madison and Oneida counties. Your 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, that cold air really isn't going away. We are back down into the teens and single digits, wind chills, very cold, actual temperatures below zero toward the end of the week. So we're not done with the Arctic air just yet, Gary. We've got a couple more days of it later this week.
And look at all that sunshine coming, right?
That's the one plus side of the cold weather. We get some more sun opportunities.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Eric, thanks. The Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste
with Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
The worst of the cold and snowstorm behind us, but winter will still be prevalent this week.
Yeah, 53 days until spring, by the way. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking what's to come from the Weather Center.
Not that we're counting.
Not that we're counting.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the thick of it here. I mean, we've had so much cold, so much snow. We're going to get a little bit of a break in the snow, but unfortunately the cold weather is going to be sticking around. And by a break in the snow, I don't mean it's going to stop by any means. I just don't think it's going to be as heavy as what we've experienced over the past 24 hours. Total snowfall, 12 to 16 inches across many spots. Rome, 12.5 inches. North Utica, 13 inches. Lee Center, 17 inches. And we're still counting this because we're still seeing the leftovers of this storm. We're seeing lake effect now. And the thing is, the radar is just not doing a good job on showing the how widespread this is and how heavy this is. This is much heavier than what these light reflectivities are indicating. And so the bottom line is, do expect to see some slippery roads continue into this evening and tonight. We do expect some light snow accumulations here over the next 24 hours. 13 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. It feels like 2. It's going to stay cold. The snow will be generally light, but we have multiple chances over the next several days thanks to lake effect snow. We're breaking things down. We'll let you know when things do start to warm up here. Look at the forecasts coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Today was certainly a day to dig out. Some did it all at once. Others had to do a little here and a little there just to get to work. This was in Remsen. There he is. Similar scenes, though, all over the area, including the city of Utica. You can see people were lined up in their driveways one by one, shoveling and snow blowing, enduring the frigid temperatures. But no matter how much people dug, the snow just kept coming today.
I've been here for maybe 25 minutes. Yeah, yeah, and it feels like I've been here for 2 hours. You know.
I've been doing this driveway for about 40 years, so I got it kind of down to a science. It goes in the back and it wraps around, so I make sure that I get every bit because I know it's only going to come back in a little while.
You know, and despite saying they're used to it in upstate New York, they're also saying they hope it gets warmer soon.
Don't we all? Well, the cold outside means we try to stay warm inside, right? But the ways we heat our home could put you at a risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. News Channel 2's Nolan Hyman tells us how to prevent it.
You can't see it and you can't taste it. Carbon monoxide is known as the silent killer. CO poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room every year. And as you try to stay warm, carbon monoxide can enter your home through gas fuel appliances like chimneys or furnaces. The first step to prevention is making sure ventilation stays clear.
We recommend to our homeowners that we come in there, do a complete thorough cleaning of the furnace, that make sure that the heat exchanger is safe, because the heat exchanger is where all the gases go through. And if there's a breach in the heat exchanger, you can emit carbon dioxide into the home.
And especially during this time of year, making sure snow doesn't block the vents or get inside the chimney.
This time of year with all the snow, you're going to get people shoveling off snow off the roofs onto the vents. And if that happens, then the furnace has safeties that's going to prevent the carbon monoxide from going back into the house. It'll shut off the furnace, but then we have to go out there and find the vents.
It's a different story with older furnaces.
If you have an older furnace that you don't have it looked at, you know, you're playing with, you know, potential danger, because our furnaces run around 6,000 hours per the heating season. So if you don't have someone to look at it, you might have some issues that you don't even know about. Those type of furnaces do not typically have pressure switches like the high efficiency furnaces, so you might have more of a chance to get carbon monoxide into your home.
Vent-free space heaters can also pose a risk.
And they're only recommended to run 4 hours per day inside a house, because they are producing low amounts of carbon monoxide.
However you heat your home, a carbon monoxide detector on every level of your house can keep you safe. Reporting from Utica, Nolan Hyman, News Channel 2.
And if you have a fire hydrant on your property or just feel like doing a good deed, firefighters would appreciate you shoveling the snow away from it. Clear 3 feet all the way around. The faster firefighters can get to a hydrant, the faster they can fight flames. In Utica, there have been more than 4 fires in as many days.
Forestport firefighters had a hard time during an
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Though the widespread really heavy snow is done, we are still tracking travel issues this evening. We are seeing lake effect snow, and that is going to be something that's going to continue here in central New York for most of the week as cold weather continues to linger on. Live look at downtown Utica. Again, the roads are snow covered. Again, still cleaning up from what happened last night. So give yourself extra time. And when you're looking at the radar, when you're looking at where the snow is, just keep in mind that the radar is just not doing a good job showing how heavy this snow is. And what you're seeing on the radar, this very, very light band, is actually moderate to heavy snow, and it extends from Rome to just north of Utica. This is actually sitting right over our television studio here, too, and we've got moderate snow outside our parking lot. What's happening here is the bands are very narrow and they're very low to the ground, and the radar is overshooting what's falling from the sky. The radar beam just can't see that low to the ground. So it's not that it's invisible, it's just being undetected here. So do expect to see bands of snow as you travel across central and northern Oneida County. Another thing, too, a lot of modern day apps are built on radar images, and when the radar is not showing anything, the app isn't either. So do expect to see some light snow chances regardless of what the app says here. I think snow is going to be hanging around for most of the week because this type of snow is not going anywhere anytime soon. Again, the roads are snow covered region-wide. Travel is a little bit tricky this evening. It's not as tough as it was last night, but we're not getting off scot-free this evening. And that's going to be the case here for the next couple of days. Again, Low to moderate impacts on travel with lake effect snow showers will be expected here. Temperatures will remain cold. Air temperatures tomorrow in the teens, wind chills near zero, and Arctic air mass just settling into place. And there's going to be a very weak area of low pressure that drops in from the north, so that's just going to kind of instigate the lake effect. We'll have on and off lake effect snow showers heading into tonight and tomorrow. This is not expected to produce big accumulation, but it will cause some slippery spots with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, some locally higher amounts too, some of these narrow bands. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, on and off snow showers tonight. It is cold. Overnight lows drop down into the single digits. Lake effect snow showers throughout Tuesday. Temperatures only in the low teens. Lake effect snow drops in again tomorrow night. Winds turn westerly. So that band starts to the north. It drops in the Mohawk Valley. And again, we're tracking on and off snow showers here for Wednesday. It's just this very consistent weather pattern for most of the week. You might have heard some rumblings of another weekend storm. I'm looking at the data and everything says that this is south and east. That doesn't mean this couldn't change. It's just at this point, I wouldn't lose sleep over this. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. Snow showers tonight, a low of 1 degree. Lake effect snow showers tomorrow, temperatures in the teens. Again, on and off lake effect snow showers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Things will finally start to change. It will not get as cold as we head into the weekend. And again, we start to see a drier weather pattern here. Temperatures in the low 20s. That's the best you get.
Bill,
So
thank you.
enjoy it. All right, thanks, Bill. At least 12 people have died in the brutal winter storm.
It's knocked out power to more than 800,000 homes. As the work to recover begins, many dangerous factors remain. Michael Yoshida reports.
The temperature is not likely to get above freezing. It's more likely that things are going to get worse before they get better.
The storm has passed, but in some areas the trouble is just beginning. Over 250 million people are under cold alerts for frigid temps that will linger for days, raising fears for those without shelter or power.
We want to make sure that everyone, first and foremost, across the state takes care and reaches out to their friends and their family and their neighbors in these challenging times.
In some parts, crews working to restore power must contend with a staggering amount of snow that fell during the storm. The top snowfall total so far is 31 inches in New Mexico, while 12 states recorded half an inch of ice.
We lived here almost 20 years, and this is the worst.
I can't remember one this bad.
In hard-hit Tennessee, neighbors are coming together to begin the recovery.
One neighbor comes out and starts looking at tree branches that needs to be taken off the road, and we all just come out. I think we probably had about 10 guys out here.
Travelers, meanwhile, remain stranded as widespread flight disruptions continued into Monday. Sunday was the worst day for flight cancellations since the pandemic.
Just wait in the you guys wait here in the airport because nowhere else to go. We can't get any Ubers, we can't find any hotels. This is the warmest place we've got, and this is the coldest I've ever been.
I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Coming up, Oneida County is extending its warming center.
Also tonight, President Trump pitches a new plan to cap credit card rates.
And what to expect with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
So we're talking about how cold it's been and how the snow looked different on Sunday. And it has to do with cloud physics. When it gets into the single digits and you get storms off the Atlantic, you get into snowflakes that look like plates as opposed to the six-sided star shapes that we're used to. And that's one of the reasons why it didn't quite accumulate as much as we were expecting. Instead of getting 16 to 18 inches, it was more like 12 to 14 inches. And again, that's because it all compacted as it was accumulating. We're getting back into the more traditional snow as we get lake effect snow. And we are tracking some of that out there this evening. Just understand what you see on the radar is actually coming down harder than what it appears. We're going to be tracking on and off snow here over the next several days with very cold air in place. Temperatures are only going to be in the teens. This is the air temperature. This doesn't factor in the wind. We'll be consistently in the teens all week long with overnight lows near or below zero. So if you are taking the dog out for a walk tonight, make it short. Temperatures will be in the teens. Tonight's featured dog is Mickey from North Utica. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Frigid temperatures can be especially hard on your heart.
Especially if you have an underlying medical condition.
Download the Storm Tracker 2 mobile app and put the power of Storm Tracker 2 in the palm of your hand. Watch the latest forecast, hour-by-hour conditions, the latest radar this winter. Be prepared. Download the Storm Tracker 2 mobile app today. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We've got cold weather that's going to linger and additional snow chances ahead. So live looking Cooperstown, the roads are snow covered. In addition to falling snow, there's also the lingering effects of yesterday's snowfall and last night's snowfall. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. What you see here isn't all that impressive on paper. However, understand that the radar has limitations on nights like this. When it's really cold out, when temperatures are in the single digits and teens, bands of lake effect snow are very low to the ground, and the Doppler radar, the beam will just go right over it, and it'll miss it. And it's not that it's invisible, it's just going undetected. We are seeing some locally heavy snow from this. In fact, the snow band extends through Marcy into central Oneida County. This is generally north of the New York State Thruway, but we're getting these bands of snow off of Lake Ontario that are very narrow, but they're having a big reduction in visibility, and they are having an impact on travel, so keep that in mind. Also, too, one of the limitations when the radar is having trouble, that means any weather app is going to have issues because apps use radar data to make these short-term projections. Even though your app will probably say it's not going to snow over the next couple of days, I completely disagree. I think we're going to be seeing snow chances on and off for the majority of the week. Again, it's all through this whole process that's happening here. So roads are snow covered. Just give yourself extra time and understand that, again, we are going to be seeing light snow in the forecast from lingering lake effect. Season total for Utica, this was measured at noon, so it's actually going to be a little bit higher once we get the latest report. We picked up 12 inches from what happened last night and up until noontime. That puts our season total to 90 inches. We are running almost 3 feet above average for today's date, and it will likely be 3 feet above average because we're seeing snow continue out there this evening. Cold weather's going nowhere. Temperatures in the teens, wind chills in the single digits. It's just not going to be as frigid, as intense as it was over the weekend, but it does remain cold. Skywatchers checking in with snowfall reports and temperatures. Whitesboro, 15 inches of snow. Barneveld, 13 inches. Helen and Cassville estimating between about 9 to 13 inches. A lot of blowing and drifting in her backyard. It's 10 degrees in Alder Creek, 9 degrees in Curtis Corners. Milford picking up 14.5 inches of snow. Lake effect snow is going to continue tonight, tomorrow. We're expecting an inch or two of fluffy accumulation. In some of the narrowest bands, we could see locally higher totals. But again, this is going to continue tonight and tomorrow. Temperatures will be cold. We'll drop into the single digits tonight. We'll climb into the teens tomorrow. On and off lake effect snow showers, that very fluffy, very light snow will continue. This continues into Wednesday. And it does look like a burst of snow is possible in the Mohawk Valley tomorrow evening, which could produce several inches of accumulation. Light snow showers continue Wednesday and Thursday with a clipper located just to our west. Looking ahead to the weekend, there looks to be a potential storm off the Atlantic coast, and all indications are that at this point, it's nothing to worry about. But again, we'll watch it closely in case anything changes, because it very well could. I'm talking almost a week away. Snow showers tonight down to 1. Tomorrow, snow showers, temperatures in the low teens. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Lake effect snow continues through Friday. Temperatures in the teens. We will start to warm up heading into the weekend. We'll be right back.
With Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
The snow continues to fall and blow around, making it hard to see while you're driving.
And the wind chill still near or below zero tonight. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis starts us off tonight in the Weather Center.
Yeah, we expect snow to continue throughout a good portion of the week, with the snow becoming lake effect snow. Very fluffy accumulation in the forecast. Let's look at some of the snowfall totals. 19 inches in Marcy. Looking at East Herkimer, 15 inches, Floyd, 14 inches, Barneveld, 10 inches. It took longer for this to accumulate because the snow looked different, being in this really cold environment, had more of a sugar texture to it compared to what we're used to. The snow continues on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The radar is not doing a great job illustrating the intensity and the extent of this because it is very close to the ground. And so we are looking at moderate to locally heavy snowfall, especially in this band that's stretching across northern Oneida County. There will be accumulation today, tonight and tomorrow. We'll pick up a fluffy inch or two of accumulation. In that narrow band, there will be some locally heavier totals, 4, 5, 6 inches, not off the realm of possibility here. Snow showers in Rome, 13 degrees. Wind chill still 1 below zero. Again, tracking light snow and snow showers tonight. Temperatures drop into the teens and single digits. We've got to look at a very cold and relatively active weather pattern ahead. We're going to look at the forecast coming up. James, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Oneida County will keep its overnight warming center open until further notice. Anyone needing to get out of the cold can go to the Oneida County office building from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. as temperatures drop during that time. Oneida County Executive Anthony Picente says nearly 50 people utilized the lobby over the weekend. Just know that there are no beds provided.
New at 6, a driver in New Hartford went off the road and over a rock wall.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking lake effect snow that continues to cause travel issues across parts of central New York. It's light, it's fluffy, but it's enough to make things slippery. And the roads are already kind of a mess. Although they're a lot better than where they were even just 12 hours ago. The road crews have been out working hard. But with this cold environment, it's just hard to get rid of this. And again, we are tracking widespread snow. It's a live look in downtown Utica. You look at the radar and it's not showing much at all in the city of Utica. And this is because the radar has some limitations on days like today. These bands of snow are very low to the ground and the radar beam just shoots right over them. And so it's not that they're invisible, they're just going undetected here. So this is what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days. Our winds come off of Lake Ontario. The lake effect snow will be very light, very fluffy, but those bands are going to be low to the ground just due to this very cold environment. It happens when temperatures are in the teens and single digits. And unfortunately, a lot of these modern day weather apps are built off of the radar, so they're going to show nothing in store in terms of snowfall. But again, I do expect to see snow chances just about every day going forward this week. Again, roads are slippery. It's not just downtown Utica. Just be careful heading out and about this evening. It's that very fine and very fluffy snow. It's not super slippery, but again, it will cause some issues. Utica hitting 90 inches of snow today. That's for the whole season. We picked up 12 inches from the Sunday into Sunday night storm. This is almost 3 feet above average. So we continue to run a very, very snowy and very cold winter as we've expected so far. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the teens. Wind chills will be in the single digits. This is what we can expect for most of the week. Skywatchers checking in. Temperatures, snowfall measurements, 15 inches of snow in Whitesboro, 13 inches in Clinton. Jeff in Mohawk checks in with 14 degrees. 14 and a half inches in Milford of snow, and Edmonston checking in with 11 inches. Cold air just sitting in central New York is going to produce lake effect snow showers. Again, on and off snow showers will produce 1 to 3 inches or more of accumulation over the next 24 hours. Again, these narrow bands of snow that show up on the radar are going to produce the highest amounts. Again, most of us will just see an inch or two of accumulation. On and off snow showers tonight. We drop down into the single digits. On and off snow showers for most of Tuesday. I think the most persistent, heaviest snow will probably be Tuesday night into Wednesday. The winds are going to be aligned off of Lake Ontario to produce snow in the Mohawk Valley for a few hours. So we'll keep an eye on that. Heading into Wednesday, again, on and off lake effect snow showers. Temperatures remain cold with highs in the teens. Looking ahead to the weekend, there's been some buzz on social media of another storm coming. At this point, everything that I'm looking at says it's out to sea, but it's also 6 days away. So we'll have to continue to keep an eye on that. But at this point, I'm not really seeing it. Snow showers tonight down to 1. Tomorrow, we're looking at snow showers, temperatures in the teens. On and off snow showers, lake effect snow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the teens. The weather starts to warm up heading into the weekend. We're finally into the 20s, which will feel like a heat wave. If we can get rid of the wind, get some sunshine, it'll be nice.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6.
News with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Schuyler firefighters were called to a mobile home fire in the Schuyler Utica line this evening and needed extra manpower. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Cold out there. We had plenty of snow to go around.
Yeah, and it continues. At least the really heavy stuff came and went, and there's still slippery roads, and that's going to be continuing over the next couple of days. Snowfall totals ranged between 12, 13, 14 inches. Most areas came in on the lower side of things, but overall, the majority of central New York had at least a foot of snow, with just a couple of exceptions. And we're tracking lake effect snow this evening and tonight. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. What we're noticing is the band is actually a lot more intense and a lot more potent than what it's showing on the radar. It's because we're in this really cold environment, and the bands are very, very shallow to the ground. And a lot of the time, it's just hard for the radar to read this. Temperatures are in the single digits. 7 degrees is the temperature of Griffiths and Rome. Light snow feels like 2 below zero. Weather headlines: lake effect snow showers continue over the next several days. We're in this lake effect weather pattern for pretty much the whole week, with very cold weather lingering around. We're also keeping an eye on the weekend. You might have heard rumblings of a big storm coming. We'll take a look at some of the newest information on that. Snow showers this evening, tonight, and into the next couple of days. Overnight lows are down into the single digits. We are tracking a cold stretch of weather ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Today was Dig Out Day. Similar scenes all over the area, right here in Utica as well. You could see people lined up in their driveways, shoveling and snow blowing during frigid temperatures. But no matter how much people dug out, it all just kept coming.
I've been here for maybe 25 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And it feels like I've been here for 2 hours, you know.
I've been doing this driveway for about 40 years, so I got it kind of down to a science. It goes in the back and it wraps around, so I make sure that I get every bit, because I know it's only going to come back in a little while.
And despite saying they're used to the upstate weather, they also say they hope it gets warmer soon. In the meantime, many of us are turning up the heat. Tonight, ways to avoid the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. News Channel 2's Nolan Hyman spoke with the experts on how to stay safe tonight.
You can't see it, and you can't taste it. Carbon monoxide is known as the silent killer. CO poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room every year. And as you try to stay warm, carbon monoxide can enter your home through gas fuel appliances like chimneys or furnaces. The first step to prevention is making sure ventilation stays clear.
We recommend to our homeowners that we come in and do a complete thorough cleaning of the furnace, that make sure that the heat exchanger is safe, because the heat exchanger is where all the gases go through. And if there's a breach in the heat exchanger, you can emit carbon monoxide into the home.
And especially during this time of year, making sure snow doesn't block the vents or get inside the chimney.
This time of year, with all the snow, you're going to get people shoveling off snow off the roofs onto the vents. And if that happens, then the furnace has safeties that's going to prevent the carbon monoxide from going back into the house. It'll shut off the furnace, but then we have to go out there and find the vent.
But it's a different story with older furnaces.
If you have an older furnace that you don't have it looked at, you know, you're playing with potential danger, because our furnaces run around 6,000 hours per the heating season. So if you don't have someone to look at it, you might have some issues that you don't even know about. Those type of furnaces do not typically have pressure switches like the high efficiency furnaces, so you might have more of a chance to get carbon monoxide into your home.
Vent-free space heaters can also pose a risk.
And they're only recommended to run 4 hours per day inside a house, because they are producing low amounts of carbon monoxide.
However you heat your home, a carbon monoxide detector on every level of your house can keep you safe. Reporting from Utica, Nolan Hyman, News Channel 2.
The Susquehanna.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Earlier this evening, a round of snow rolled through, and the roads are still snow covered from that. We've been dealing with snow here for the past 24 hours. It was heavier last night into this morning, and then the lake effect snow came we're going to be seeing rounds of lake effect snow over the next several days as very cold weather remains in place. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is not taking much to get Lake Ontario to produce snow. We're seeing a few bands of snow from Lake Ontario to the west. Again, it's important to point out that what you see on the radar is not telling the whole story. The radar is having a hard time picking up these low-level bands. They're very low to the ground because the air is very, very cold, and the radar is going to miss them. I think that's going to be the case the whole week. We're going to have a hard time picking this out on the radar, but we can look at ground conditions. You can see a lot of areas have snow-covered roads. Looks like the snowiest spots, at least on these cameras, is in Sangerfield, Route 12 and Route 20, the intersection there. Cold air is going to be in place. We're going to have very weak systems roll through, and it's basically just going to keep the lakes very active. Lake Ontario almost continuously produces some form of lake effect snow between now and most likely Friday evening. And this is a long duration lake effect pattern. It doesn't mean that one area is going to get buried. It just means that the lakes will be pretty active here with cold weather. 90 inches. We hit 90 inches today in the city of Utica. Our season snowfall total has been way above average. For today's date, we are now running 3 feet above average. Cold weather continues tomorrow. Temperatures in the teens, wind chills near or below zero. The cold weather is going to stick around. And again, just weak disturbances rolling through. Tonight, tomorrow, an inch or two of snow. It's very fluffy snow, enough to make things slippery. And again, that's going to be the story here going forward. Scattered snow showers tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the single digits. Scattered snow showers for Tuesday. I think in the morning time it's pretty quiet, and we'll see some bands drop in. The steadiest snow looks to be tomorrow night, and that actually could impact the Mohawk Valley. Could be talking about locally heavy snow, probably in the order of about 4 to 5 inches worth heading into tomorrow night into early Wednesday. And then heading into Wednesday afternoon, that snow heads to the north, and then more snow chances Thursday, Friday. The weekend, there's been a lot of talk on the national scale of another storm. Just note that at this point, it looks like it's going to be way out to sea, at least the way things stand as of Monday, as of today. But we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Snow showers tonight, low of 1. Tomorrow, snow showers 13. It's cold stretch of weather here. We're only in the teens the rest of the week. On and off lake effect snow showers. Temperatures at night near or below zero. By the weekend, things look a little bit less cold. Hopefully a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures in the low 20s Sunday and Monday.
Low of 1. He says it so calmly. What are you going to do? It's
Could be worse. I mean, it was colder over the weekend, but it's still cold.
Could be worse. And we also want to make everyone aware that we are experiencing some audio difficulties. We apologize. We're working on fixing it, but thank you, Bill. Coming up next, the Utica Zoo was
with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Schuyler firefighters were called to a mobile home fire on the Schuyler-Utica line this evening and needed extra manpower and forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. You got the cold. We got a lot of snow. You guys did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Toot your own horn because your weather team nailed this storm. Anywhere from 19 to 9 inches all over our viewing area.
Yeah, I think the average is about a foot, a little over a foot. And so as we move forward, this is not going anywhere at all. We're in this cold pattern and we're tracking more snow this week. It's not going to be like yesterday where it comes relatively all at once. This is going to be a long, slow accumulation. It'll come in bursts. We're talking about lake effect snow. And again, some of us have seen it earlier this evening, that burst of snow rolling through many areas during the late afternoon or early evening. Things are looking relatively quiet, at least on paper. One issue we're having is that because it's so cold, the lake effect bands are really, really narrow and low to the ground, so the radar is actually missing a lot of this activity. And so even though it looks quiet, we're actually seeing some light snow, and that's what's being reported at Griffiths too. 6 degrees, the current temperature, it feels like 4 below zero. And again, this is going to be the norm. Lake effect snow on and off over the next couple of days, actually up through the whole week. It doesn't really slow down or stop until the weekend. And we're watching a weekend storm. It's getting a lot of national attention. We'll let you know if there's any chance of it impacting our local weather. Snow showers tonight, low temperatures in the single digits. Again, we're tracking a cold week ahead and look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It was dig out day today. Similar scenes all over the area, including here in Utica. You can see people lined up in their driveways, shoveling, snow blowing, enduring these cold temperatures. But no matter how much people dug, it just seemed to keep coming.
I've been here for maybe 25 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And it feels like I've been here for 2 hours, you know.
I've been doing this driveway for about 40 years, so I got it kind of down to a science. It goes in the back and it wraps around, so I make sure that I get every bit because I know it's only going to come back in a little while.
And despite that they're used to this upstate weather, they say they hope it gets warmer soon. In the meantime, many of us are turning up the heat. Tonight, ways to avoid the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. News Channel 2's Nolan Hyman spoke with the experts on how to stay safe.
You can't see it and you can't taste it. Carbon monoxide is known as the silent killer. CO poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room every year. And as you try to stay warm, carbon monoxide can enter your home through gas fuel appliances like chimneys or furnaces. The first step to prevention is making sure ventilation stays clear.
We recommend to our homeowners that we come in there and do a complete thorough cleaning of the furnace, that make sure that the heat exchanger is safe, because the heat exchanger is where all the gases go through. And if there's a breach in the heat exchanger, you can emit carbon monoxide into the home.
And especially during this time of year, making sure snow doesn't block the vents or get inside the chimney.
This time of year with all the snow, you're going to get people shoveling off snow off the roofs onto the vents. And if that happens, then the furnace has safeties that's going to prevent the carbon monoxide from going back into the house. It'll shut off the furnace, but then we have to go out there and find the vents.
But it's a different story with older furnaces.
If you have an older furnace that you don't have it looked at, you know, you're playing with, you know, potential danger, because our furnaces run around 6,000 hours per the heating season. So if you don't have someone to look at it, you might have some issues that you don't even know about. Those type of furnaces do not typically have pressure switches like the high efficiency furnaces, so you might have more of a chance to get carbon monoxide into your home.
Vent-free space heaters can also pose a risk.
And they're only recommended to run 4 hours per day inside a house, because they are producing low amounts of carbon monoxide.
However you heat your home, a carbon monoxide detector on every level of your house can keep you safe. Reporting from Utica, Nolan Hyman, News Channel 2.
The Susquehanna SPC.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica, and I changed the camera position here because I want to show you something really cool. These are light pillars. This light shooting up from the ground is caused by reflection of ice crystals. We have very, very small ice crystals in the sky, and these are being reflected. So they're ground lights that are being reflected and in these beautiful pillars. Pretty neat to see that. You often see these when it's really, really, really cold. It's very uncommon to be this cold with snow in the air, just because the air is really dry. The thing is, it's never too cold to snow, but it is less common because the air tends to be very, very dry. One problem about the dry air and the fact that it's really cold is that where it is snowing, it's hard to see on the radar, because a lot of this snow is going underneath the radar beam. It's very, very low to the ground, and so it's being undetected. So what you see is not necessarily what you get. You're going to see more snow than what's being depicted on the radar this evening. And that's going to be a problem over the next couple of days, because the atmosphere doesn't change very much. We're going to stay very cold. We're going to have additional chances of lake effect snow. And you can see that this is enough where it's coating the roads. It's not going to be a heavy accumulation, but it could be enough to make things a little bit slippery. This map illustrates the weather this week. We have cold Arctic air sitting right over us, and it's just continuously bringing lake effect snow, the very light wind over Lake Ontario, and this just doesn't stop. At least at this point, we are past the worst of the lake effect season as the lakes get continuously colder and colder. We are still generating snow off of Lake Ontario. And we've generated a lot of snow this season, 90 inches to date for the city of Utica. That is 3 feet above average. This extremely snowy winter continues across central New York. And it's going to be very cold, too. Temperatures will be in the teens tomorrow. Wind chills will be near 0. So the lake effects machine does produce a little bit of snow tonight and tomorrow. We're thinking a general 1 to 3 inches of snowfall from Utica and points north and west. And again, it's on and off snow showers for most of it. Tomorrow morning, the band lifts to the north, so I do think the morning is dry, but that band will be heading south into the afternoon and evening, and I think the steadiest snow will be arriving tomorrow night. We could see 3, 4, 5 inches of snow across the Mohawk Valley late tomorrow night, and then on Wednesday, again, this pattern just continues. We're watching the weekend. We've been getting a lot of headlines of a possible weekend storm. At this point, the data keeps it well offshore. This certainly could change, but at this point, I'm not seeing anything to be concerned about. It was a different story last week. We did pick this up throughout the week, but again, we'll continue to watch that. Snow showers tonight, low of 1. Snow showers tomorrow, temperatures in the low teens. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. On and off snow showers for most of the week. Temperatures remain cold. Highs in the teens, overnight lows near or below 0. And again, at this point, it does look like the weekend will be dry. Temperatures climbing to the 20s Sunday and Monday. Yay!
Ooh, and go out for a run. Hey, it's better than 5 below. We just got to get there.
We are in the middle of January. We just got to grin and bear it.
We are. All right. Thank you, Bill.